Welcome back to the Tufunzeni Podcast. I am your host, Roseline Ogai. And today, this episode, it's the most exciting episode because it's actually the episode that discusses the foundation of education, and that is the early childhood education. This is a topic that I believe everyone would love to explore and to listen to. So please stay tuned and watch this episode. In this episode, I'm joined with amazing ladies and educators. I have Lydia Konji and Goretti Thuo, and I will give them an opportunity to introduce themselves so that they can tell us the superhero in them that I've not mentioned. Yes, Lydia.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Lydia Wanjiru Konji, as I've been introduced by my colleague. I always say that I'm a teacher by passion and not profession. Why maybe passion? Because in early years, you find that as a teacher, you need to be a little bit candid and a little bit patient. You need to be the confidant of the child. You need to make that child feel that they're away from home. So, and I'm going to give a little bit of my story, why I chose early years and not maybe to become a P1 teacher or a high school teacher. When I was young, I used to love going to see children in homes whereby the adopted children, and I used to adopt a child every December to our home. So that's where, then one day my dad told me that after my Form 4, if I would like to go to teaching. By that time, I wasn't very sure if I want to do a P1, if I want to do the early years, but in fact, he really nurtured me. And he insisted that I can become a very good teacher for early years because the children that I used to take from the homes, they used to be young boys and girls. So that is where my career started. And I joined the Early Years Foundation. It has been quite an exciting journey because having these children, I always say that they always make for you a special prayer because they're usually very innocent children. When they come from home, they're looking forward for a successful day. Yeah, they look forward to see a better future because now you find in early years, if you don't give the child the right foundation, it's just like building a house without a foundation. This is where the foundation of children starts because this is where they will learn how to speak, they will learn how to write, they will learn how to read. You need to build their confidence and you need to build their future. So if this child is an example, maybe the foundation is not quite good. When they go to primary, you find them, they are struggling to write, they are struggling to speak, they are struggling with their education generally. So for me, I take early childhood like a foundation, a proper foundation for a child. Because the moment you mold them, they pick, they go, and you feel happy as a teacher.
Thank you so much, Lydia.
Yes.
Goretti?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Goretti Thuo, and I'm an educator, teacher. And why did I choose to be a teacher? It's because everyone tells me I am very good with children. And I also like working with the children because just as my colleague here said, Lydia, they're very innocent and their little minds are very empty. So as a teacher, I'm the one who is going to choose what I'm going to put into their little minds. These are children who will make your day very nice, very special. They will love you like there is no tomorrow, you know. And then I like being around them because this child will give you peace even if you didn't have it. Okay. And when they come to my class, this is home away from. It's a home away from home. I want to make my environment very nice so this child is able to open up and give me the best that they have. And when they go back home, I want them to just think of the beautiful day that they had. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Goretti and Lydia, for that beautiful sharing of your experiences, especially on why you chose early years. And I think that's very beautiful because that's what actually everyone would want to be, to inspire somebody positively to be in their lives. And as Goretti has put it, whatever you put in their minds is what matters. And as she was saying that, actually, I was just thinking back at my early years teacher, and she was called Miss Consolata. I still believe that she's the best ECE teacher that has ever existed. We still meet. actually she looks younger than me. So maybe that's the story
Yeah, true.
behind it.
Mhm.
Maybe if I had chosen early years, I would be younger because my teacher is actually very, very young, by the way. And wherever you are, Madam Consolata, know that I appreciate you so much for the good job that you did. Now that you've mentioned the fun bit, Lydia, if I picked it from your conversation, can we now explore what are some of these fun moments with these youngsters and what are the opportunities that someone can embrace in early years?
I'll start with fun moments with the children. Yeah,
Yes.
as we said that they are very innocent and they look forward. You know, when they come from home, you're just like their mom. Now you are the mother, you are the caregiver, you are everything in them. So the fun moments, an example, it's during their playtime. You know, when they are exploring with different life skills equipment, whereby they need I would say they can have different types of fun, yeah, like guided fun, whereby you as a teacher, you group them in a group, they explore themselves, and you through this exploring, they learn a lot. It's part of play. It's not all about writing and reading. Yes, the same thing. And when it comes to story time, they enjoy stories. That is fun. Why am I saying story time is fun? Like an example, we do the story about the Little Red Riding Hood. There's a lot of fun that we get from it. An example, making the basket, you know, picking the flowers, like girls, they like it. You know, boys, they become the wolves, you know, others become the farmer and all that. So you find that themselves, they make fun of them. The children are fun already. Now, when they come to school, the school needs to create the fun area for them. Maybe at home, they don't have that space because at home, you find most of the time with them, it's just the TV, they play a little bit, maybe they go shower, they are done. But here, they learn through fun. It's not about just writing, taking a pencil, write. No, those toys means a lot to them. Those colors is a lot to them. You find like you pick a red color, you know, you make it fun by what objects around your class is red. What kind of food is red? What kind of fruits are red? So you find that through fun activities, they really learn a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Clay, you mentioned Clay. Through Clay, a child will grow cognitively, a child will grow socially, a child's language is going to be built. Okay. How will a child be built socially? When they talk to each other, they will know how to relate to each other. How will the language, how the language is going to come from there. And then small problems this child is going to be able to solve through Clay. All right. Children will also be able to grow their fine and gross motor skills through play. So play is part of learning, and it does a very good job in learning. Actually, it does the best because give a child Play-Doh and they will give you amazing things. Okay. The beauty about children is you don't even need those many toys. Even a piece of paper will be enough for them to play. When you have a piece of paper and some colors, that child is going to be very creative and you will be amazed. Thank you.
So that's the beauty of having these learners in your class, the play part. And I love the aspect where you've said play can come in several ways. We can have play, but we're still learning language. We can play and we're still learning about maybe numeracy skills or any other skill that they're supposed to acquire at that stage. Because that now, I was wondering, actually, there are always these comments or maybe what we hear about the play, and I really wanted to understand this sense of play, but from your explanation, it is very clear that the play is a vital part of their learning.
Yeah.
And that also creates the fun that Lydia mentioned, because now you're having the fun together. You collect flowers, you draw, you color, and it all comes out nicely. But now let's also talk about the developmental stages in learning, because these are very key things that we want everyone to understand. And I think it's normally where also we bridge the gap maybe between those who do not understand early years and those who understand. But again, before I get to that, the developmental stages, back to play. At times, there are pressures that comes from the management, from the parents, that maybe they don't understand this play, and why, there is the pressure. I want this learner to be quick in writing, or maybe to acquire the writing skill first or the reading skill first. How do you handle such pressure, Goretti, when it comes? Maybe a parent that feels that my child needs to have acquired this skill, yet most of the time I see them playing, they don't understand this and all that. Or even from a boss that gives the pressure. So how will you respond to that?
Thank you very much. When a parent or management brings forth a concern of a child delaying in development, there's one thing that you'd like to let these people know, that every child develops differently. Every child has their own special time of blooming, and no matter what, you should never rush a child and should never go comparing your child with a neighbor's child. All you have to do is keep on pushing. And when I say pushing, I don't mean pushing in a bad way. Keep on doing it. Keep on practicing and all that, encouraging them, yes. And keep on telling this child it is okay. When your time comes, then we will move, okay? Instead of shifting this blame to the teacher, shifting this place to the school owners. I mean, every child is a beautiful flower, in my own words, okay? And when their time comes to bloom, you'll be amazed. True. And that is a word that I've always kept. I've told my parents over and over again, you're right, they do come, and they're very, very concerned about where their children are delayed, okay? Yeah. Then again, you also have to check on the gaps. Is there any certain gap that this child missed? If there is, let us try and find out which one it is, and let us try and fill in the missing spaces so that this child is able to progress better, okay? If there's too much TV that is being done, then we see how we can minimize that and include a lot of learning. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Lydia?
Okay, to add on that, I always tell my parents, even these fingers are not the same. Yes. They're not the same size. So when sometimes maybe they come, it's good, it's their right, yes, to be concerned about their children, because, they brought them to school to learn. But you find also, these children are different. We are all created differently. Even as teachers, we are different. Yeah. We have different approach of teaching. Yes? So you find if you have a child who has delayed maybe in writing, maybe you find this child, he's fast in reading. So what do? You use another different method to encourage this, because you find there are those children whose is just a pencil or a color, but they don't want it. So what do? You don't need to push them. Yeah? Let them grow. Let them take their time. And also parents also out there, it's always good to find out what is happening to a child, because sometimes you feel if you're not in the same box with the teacher, if what I am seeing is quite different from what you're seeing, maybe there's a problem somewhere. So we need to come and meet in the middle. So it's always good and advisable for parents at least to have time with their children, because nowadays you find there is what we call telephone parenting, right? We are busy at the end of the day. The children have come from home. The only thing you want to do, maybe you just want to see homework done. Yeah? So you find sometimes they are done even that homework at home. But in school, I'll get a different picture. Because at the end of the day, I will keep a diary of each and every child. Sometimes even as a teacher, even when you're sleeping, you ask me, how is Rose doing? I should have an answer. Always. I will, and what I tell you, even if I'm not in school, should be the picture of this child. So sometimes you find it's true, it's a challenge, but it's always good to have a discussion with the parent, a meeting with the parent, make them understand. It's just, sometimes I always say it is not that serious, because again, with these little ones, when it is that serious, in fact, you lose it completely. You just need to talk to the parent, have a meeting with them, make them understand there are different approaches of learning. it's not all about maybe writing fast. It's not all about finishing the notes on the whiteboard. It's all about what this child is getting. Yeah, because we learn in different ways. And then, surprisingly, these children, they decode things. You might maybe find first term, this child cannot color, this child cannot write. But by the time you open in second term, this child has been decoding whatever you've been learning in first term. Because there are those who are a bit timid, shy, so you need to raise them, their confidence and all that. So I would say sometimes, being a child's confident as a teacher, you need to understand the whole sum from head to toe. Know the good mood, the bad side, what they need, how they are learning. Yeah, and that's why you find maybe in early years, you find we don't use a lot of whiteboard writing. Whiteboard writing comes later, maybe when you are reinforcing something. But at times we just let them be. And then through that, it becomes a smooth process for them to grow.
I'd like to add to what she has said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when she talked about learning a child, it's very important because there's that child who will come in the morning and they are absolutely not ready to learn. Okay, so it's not going to go like a whole season of if it is time to learn now, we have to learn. If this child does not feel like learning, let them do whatever they are doing. When their mind is cleared up, then you get to sit with them and then do something with them. I think that is also something that we can ensure happens when something like this comes to. Yeah.
And now I've picked a number of things, and I would want to start by asking, is there a way that maybe we can let the parents be aware of whatever is happening or the expectations before we begin maybe a term? Do you think it's something that maybe schools can think of, that the ECE teachers can have a meeting with the parents, maybe take them through the expectations, even the management? Because sometimes, parents can raise concerns maybe because of what they are seeing. Like you said, you talked about maybe comparing with another child, maybe the neighbor's child, and they don't understand these developmental stages. Being a parent, actually, there is normally no qualification. You can find yourself as a parent, but maybe you're not even ready for the challenges that it comes with, on the sweet moments that it comes with. Do you think that having maybe this conversation with the parents prior can be helpful to also help support this child? Because remember, by the time a parent is complaining, most of the time they've actually complained in the house.
Yeah, true.
And children, as you said, they pick so much. And maybe they've also picked this and it can also be affecting them. What is your take on that?
Okay.
Maybe having a meeting with them prior?
Yes. We have what we call the orientation. You orient the parent on what they expect, the academic year or termly before they open it. But especially academic year will be the first term, because you find this child is coming either fresh from home.
Yes.
Maybe they are going to the next. Maybe they were in KG2. They are going to reception. What they expect. So that by the time the child now is joining the school, when the schools are opening, at least the parents, they have an idea what they expect. Yeah, because you see the way she said, they expect that when they come to school, it's magic. They need to learn. They need to read. Yeah, so, but it has to be a consistency. Yes. And then again, something came into my mind. Yeah, sometimes I'll say maybe a mistake comes in because, education has changed. Like us, we never had something like sounds. We just learned the A, B, C, D. We had A, D, E, F, G, But now, this is what we call sounds. That's a different lesson. Now, a 3-year-old, I will not introduce a 3-year-old to alphabets. We will introduce the sounds. And now from these sounds, I need to introduce the reading from it. Because you see, it's just a systematic way to prepare this child. You see, so maybe having an orientation so that even the parents can articulate those sounds properly. Because at the end of the day, they'll do. Sometimes even you tell them, listen to your child what they are telling you is correct, because you find a parent will come and tell you, Apana, this is ABCD. But no, it's not ABCD.
My
They are
teacher said
sounds.
this.
Yes. There's a way you sound it, there's a way you articulate it, there's a way, it's a process. We start with the sounds, you go to 2-letter words, you go to 3-letter words, you go to, by the time in fact you reach the 4-letter words, it becomes automatic for the child to read. So maybe having an orientation, it's a very good idea for the parents.
And especially the orientation should come early, because I see most of the time at the beginning of the term or academic year, you find that parents just bring their kids and they're not even informed about maybe a number of things. So I agree. And now that we're looking at this understanding these learners, I think we should also now focus on the developmental stages that as parents, we need to be aware of, as teachers, or even other, because you see in a school setup, they meet also other teachers, they meet other staff members that are maybe not interacting with them in class. What are some of the key developmental features that you feel is essential for everyone to know? Be it a parent, be it like just everyone that will, so that, because no one can say that I am not dealing with younger children, so I have no business with them. Everyone deals with these children at one particular point. Maybe your niece, your nephew, your cousin. In one way or the other, you'll definitely meet a child. And when you meet them, because this conversation is interesting, because I'm seeing that these learners are very unique and they're very special, because they have very special features that we have to ignite so that they bloom. And if we don't, then we can discourage them without knowing, because they can start withdrawing without us even realizing. So can you enlighten us on some of these developmental processes or milestones that you may want every person to be aware of?
Okay. Thank you. I'll start with cognitive development, which is very important for every child. Because if the child will not develop cognitively, I'm sure this child will have problems later in life. You see, through cognitive, you find even their social and emotional skills, they just outgrow. Yeah. We also need to have the gross motor skills, the fine motor skills, the fingers, because of the holding of the pencils, holding of the pen. You find sometimes they hold it like this. So they know you have to hold it with the 3 fingers. Yeah, it's very important. And maybe if I say something a little bit about the gross motor skills, which it's usually a very big challenge. It's not all about holding a pencil. Cutting. Cutting and sticking. That will enhance eye-hand coordination. The child will be able to know, and that also comes in cognitive development. The child will know that I need to cut. I need to put my papers aside. I need to take the glue and, spread it where I'm supposed to do my sticking. That is very important. Of course, the scissors will mold, how do I say, will make their fingers flexible through cutting on a straight line, zigzag. Still, again, we come in eye-hand coordination. Yes, when they are playing with the modeling. Still, again, eye-hand. And cognitive, again, it is arousing that idea of growing. You see, all this goes around. Yes. The other thing is about, I would say, physical development. Their muscles, they need to be strong. They are tiny. You see, we are, maybe especially the schools which are in the urban areas, we are used to raise them in the house. They know it's all about the house, bedroom, sitting room, kitchen, maybe downstairs I play a little bit. Yeah, not like in the rural area, they have their whole playground the whole day, you see. So also the physical development, we need also to encourage that. Maybe my colleague can add some on that, something. Yes.
Yeah, so we have also social. We have social development. And when a child is socially developed, they are able to get into any diversified environment and get along with every other one. They're able to express themselves and they are able to be very, very, very confident. Let me add a bit on the cognitive development. When a child is cognitively developed, they are able to solve just about any problem by themselves. You see, when you hear a child keeping on tele, then there's a small question. Was this child, was it done properly? Okay. Was this child told that, you can actually fight your own battles? And when I say fight your own battles, I don't actually mean get fist,
Yeah.
You see those small fights that they get into. Through your mind, when this child is cognitively developed, they will be able to sort just about anything. I will be able to tell this is a small child. I'm just slightly older than her. So I can actually let this child have their way first, okay? Or I can actually have this child go first and I come second, all right? And then language, when they're playing, the language development, yeah? When this child is playing with this one, let's say, for example, they're using Swahili. This child is just trying to learn Swahili. Maybe they are from another country. Children, as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, they pick very little things, so they will be able to pick. And that is why, as educators, we have to be very, very careful around the children. Even parents, we need to also be very sensitive around the children, because they'll pick just about anything, not knowing it is good. So when I talk about the language development, they will pick it and they will gain some language. And if someone was not even speaking English, maybe this is a child who's from the rural area and they've come into the town and they've joined into a school, and the only language they know maybe is the mother tongue. So when the others are playing and talking English, I'm telling you that child will be the best English speaker you've ever seen, just because of associating, When you stand in front and teach children, my God, it's going to be boring. But when you let them go and learn in their own way, then you get somewhere with that child. Yeah.
When I say this is beautiful, I'm telling you, I mean it. It is beautiful. Why I'm just loving this discussion is because a number of times we find maybe students or a child playing with the scissor at home, and the first thing you're like, why are you playing with it? And you take it because of the fear that they're going to cut themselves.
Yes.
But imagine how Lydia puts it. They're practicing eye-hand coordination.
Yeah.
And there was another point that Lydia you mentioned about the scissor. When they're
the grip, yes.
grip.
Yes.
So you see, that is why we just need to understand these things so that we don't tell them they're going to cut themselves, and we take the scissor and actually we hide it where they will never see it. I think this is now a challenge that we have to take as a society, as a community, as parents, as a caregiver to the younger children, that when you find them trying to explore, maybe with a scissor, instead of just taking it and maybe telling them you're going to cut yourself, how about we sit and then we be there to oversee what they are doing? Because that is actually what the teachers are doing in school.
True.
You're given the same scissor, we are telling them they're going to, it's dangerous for them.
Yes.
It's the same scissor
that
this Lydia and Goretti is telling them at school that is helpful.
Yeah.
So I think it just calls on our patients. Let's always want to be there. We'll be present parents. As Lydia mentioned that. Let's be present parents. Let's just try to hold back first and look at what they're doing and ask them what they're doing and encourage that.
Yes. The process.
Very beautiful. This is just amazing. Now, these younger ones, kids being kids and kids being human. The number of times, we have kids at home, but they make mistakes.
Yes.
They make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, because we just want to learn and we just want to see how best we can also encourage them in the times that maybe we see misbehavior. When they're dealing with the rest, or maybe when they're also connecting with their teacher, they can end up doing something that we may call this, or we may term as a misbehavior. How do we approach this? Because Goretti said it passionately. They are flowers, and you want to let them bloom.
Yes.
And I want us to look at a way that we can correct them in a manner that we still connect with them, because we are there confident, as Lydia mentioned, but at the same time, they realize that this is wrong. What is your phrase that you normally use to correct them and still remain connected with them?
Personally, I am very, very friendly with children. You'd actually mistake me for being very soft. So given given a situation that a child has messed up, has done something wrong, the first thing I will do is get this child into my embrace and tell them it is okay.
Yeah.
It is
Wow.
okay. We all make
Yeah.
mistakes. All right. And then when this child is calm enough and we can have a conversation, then we revisit the moment and whatever happened, we revisit it. And I ask them, let's say, for example, maybe child A hit child B, and the child A is the one that is in my embrace. I will ask them, so what was the reason for you hitting them? And then they will go telling me a whole story of this happened, this happened, this happened. And then I will make them say, okay, so you got angry. Yeah, fine. It is okay to be angry. But do you think if it was done to you, you'd feel better? Okay. Then they will now come back to their senses and say, oh, by the way, no, that would really feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now when I put that child A back into the right lane, then I tell them, so now what happens if you do something wrong? Then the child will say, okay, I think I owe that person an apology. Then they will go by themselves and fix whatever they unfixed before. Yeah, that is how I approach it. And from then onward, you will see now this one is a preacher of the gospel. Now you cannot do that because this one wouldn't feel
Will not
good.
feel nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you do that in class, then your
So they
gospel
actually help
is
you.
yes, it's
Yeah,
well
they
preached
do.
and
Yes,
things
yes,
are right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lydia.
Okay, for me, before I go to make a comment on that, there's this song. I don't remember the artist. It goes, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Okay, it's quite a long song, yeah? I don't
I
remember.
was almost screaming the song.
Sometimes, okay, the way we say, yes, they are innocent. And of course, they are prone to do mistakes. They are prone to hit each other. So like for me in my class, we have those the magic words like please, sorry, the courteous words. That is what we learn first. Yes. Then in case of any maybe misunderstanding, because of course you find them snatching things from each other, hitting, pushing and all that. First, if maybe a child has done something wrong to the other, and sometimes even they do it and they get very angry, I always give them a hug. I tell them it's okay. Maybe you ask them to breathe in and out, because sometimes they get really scared because they know they are wrong. And through their face, because I will know each and every child, the way they react. You find for real this child has done something wrong. You will not go straight to them after giving them a hug, breathe in and out. You give them time. If it is eating time, let them eat, let them play. Then when we go back to class, we revisit the story.
Okay.
You make it like a story so that also you don't demean the child. Because the problem also with these children, when you demean them and they go off, they completely go off. By the time you go and search for them, I don't know, it will be a different story. So sometimes you find you don't want to hurt the child, but you want them to understand what they did is wrong. That is why we have the courtesy words. That's the things that they learn, the first thing.
Okay.
Then the second thing they know, maybe my little hands are not supposed to do this. My little feet are not supposed to kick. My little mouth is not supposed to say those big words, because sometimes they can be very big. You can be told, and then even you yourself as a teacher, you don't want to say it.
Yes.
You are like, oh my goodness, where did this one come from? But you don't want to show this child. But you put it, personally, I put it as a story. Like once upon a time, there was this happened, if it were you, how would you feel? And for it, they'll tell you, I'm so sorry. It will just come automatic to them. So through that, to keep on, make it, I always make it as a system in my class when they do something wrong.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lydia and Goretti. But on this, maybe let me call it misbehavior. I don't know whether it's the correct term for the younger ones, because I find it too big.
It is too big. Yeah.
But no, for lack of better words, just allow me use it. We have these behaviors that are bound to reoccur. Maybe it's because, yes, you instill this, but maybe the environment that the child is coming from, the child goes home, the people they play with, and maybe even the family setup, because the kids are also coming from different family setup. And I also want to link it with previous, there's a previous comment that Goretti also gave on when how you monitor these learners. So I just want to ask, maybe you can shed more light on what are some of the records that an ECE teacher or an early childhood educator needs to keep so that they track these behaviors and they also track these developmental stages that maybe they can also help to realize the gaps that the learner is having. Are there records? And if there are records that an ECE teacher needs to keep, what are they?
You mean records on the misbehavior?
The behavior generally, or maybe health, and maybe, we talked about gaps previously, about
Yes,
maybe
yes.
there might be gaps that may make maybe a child to delay. Are there ways that we are keeping this such that if a parent maybe raises a concern or a management raises a concern, we can have something to show that indeed this is the trend that I've noticed with
the child.
students.
Yes.
With the child, yes.
Yes, like that.
Yeah, those records are very, very important because when you experience a child having some misconduct, okay, it's not to say that this child from January to February to December, they are going to be bad.
Yes.
There are those funny days and there are those very good days, okay? So you have to keep those records in case of a sitting with a parent, a sitting with the management and all that, yeah? And always when you're sitting down with a parent and the management, make sure you mention all the pros and cons. Make sure you actually highlight on the good things. Yes, this child seems to be portraying this funny attitude here, but let's look at this. He's also very good here. So let us try and see how we will work on this together, okay? Encourage him. Yeah, so that we can have a balance, yeah? So that even when this parent is coming from a meeting from you, they don't go home and they are screaming and they just want to beat this child because your teacher said you're terrible in school. Let them have.
They go home just to beat them.
Yes, and they say your teacher just said bad things about you. So as an educator, I will make sure before I part with those parents, I will give you the best part of your child, and I'll also give you that very part that needs to be worked on. It is also important to let us know, the parents and the teachers, that a child should not be let to get away with a misconduct because they're all watching and they will remind you, hey, last time Rose did this and you did nothing. Last time my brother did this and you did nothing. Yeah. So you have to also strike a balance.
They know how to keep records.
They do.
They do.
Yes.
So you actually have to keep your own records. You have to keep on your own records. And then even during class, if there's this child who has been acting very funny, make sure you praise them if they have slightly changed, not totally, but slightly. That gives them even room for greater change. And everyone is like, oh wow, nowadays you're doing very well. Yeah. And then they're going to go, yeah, I'm trying. And then every time you spot them trying to misbehave, I thought you were doing well, then they will retract and keep doing the right thing. Yeah. So the records, very important for referral.
Maybe to add on what Goretti has said, to have the daily occurrence records are very important with these children. Whatever, you have one for the discipline side of it, and then you have the language record. It's very important. If it is math, you have the math record, have their progress report every day. If it is reading, I was reading today, I will say Rose today read this. We managed to do this and this. So by the time there, and then you make sure as a teacher, whatever you are recording, it's not different from what you did. Maybe in the book. Maybe in the book you did sounds. Here you're coming to write writing. No, it should go hand in hand. Yes, if it is discipline, you have daily occurrence of whatever happened. Yeah, every day. It's very important. And then also on the other side, for the parents, it's also good to give the health record of a child. Yeah, because you see, for me, when you bring for me a child from home, I will not know maybe their challenge is there. You find others, they have special diet. Others maybe, sorry to say, maybe they have the delayed milestones. Yeah, and then also parents to be true to themselves, because you find sometimes you are brought for, you are told the child is 5 years, because you see, for me as a class teacher, I'll not keep the birth certificate, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe you'll be told the child is 5 years and kumbe this child is 4 years. So you find also this child psychologically, will not fit in that class because of course she's young. Every stage has its developmental stages. So it's also good for the parents also not to compare. The way my colleague said, compare. My neighbor's child went to school when she was 3 years, and they went to reception, so mine also I want to keep it. Always just accept them the way they are. So make it easier, their life easier, loving and enjoyable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice. And are there any challenges that comes with in this setup, the ECE setup? Because all I hear are goodies. But you see now, in a normal setup, of course, there are always the fun moments, and we also have the challenges, isn't it?
Yes.
So are there also challenges that comes with the ECE classes, and how do you address them, or how do you go about them?
Okay. To start with, I would say, I don't think we have a specific curriculum for ECE. I think for like for primary level, we have schemes of work. We have this is what we follow. But you find for ECE, sometimes as a teacher, you have to be a curriculum yourself. You have to be ready because
challenge number one.
Yeah, challenge number one. Yes. You have to be yourself because whatever you are brought for would not be whatever you are ready to teach. You see, in the morning, you can be having a very smart lesson plan, but things stand to be something else. They are not ready to learn. So what do? I reverse. I do something different from that. So you find
you have to be very flexible.
You have to. I don't wake up in the morning and say, today, I am going to teach sound A. I will get in that class and find they are not ready for that sound. They are ready for a story. So what do? I go for story time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So sometimes you find as teachers, we are having that challenge that, especially maybe administration, they know what is expected, of course. But you find sometimes maybe someone will get you doing something opposite. From what now you get the time, you have to explain yourself. Yeah, and maybe this person does not understand what is happening in the class.
Actually, a number of times they don't.
So I think, you should have that flexibility to understand, listen to this teacher. Because at the end of the day, even if I teach whatever I'd written and these children are not ready, I did not meet my objective. You see, and this objective, sometimes it can be met for a whole week. You see, as I said in the beginning, they decode. So a day it will come that they are going to upload everything. So you give it time, but at times you find it's quite a challenge. Even you as a teacher, you ask yourself, am I the problem or what is wrong? But you are not. It's just that it has not been understood well in ECE what is expected. Because, and then also, if you have a specific curriculum, remember, I can use Montessori in a class setup whereby maybe we are using Jollyphonics. They go hand in hand. Like Jollyphonics is a systematic way of teaching. Yeah, it's easier but you find this child who needs this Montessori method so that they grasp whatever I am teaching. So sometimes you find that one is still 50-50. We need to come in to have a pack which way to go.
So it means like you can use several approaches. You can have Montessori, you have this one in one set classroom.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, just to add on that, you also find these children who want to just have their quiet time and they don't want to take part in anything that you're doing. And then you as the management, or maybe you as that parent who really wants to keep track of what your child is doing, you will probably be somewhere watching, and then you will point your finger at me. Why is my child there? Why is child so-and-so not with the group? Okay? Not understanding that if I force that child to sit down here, I'd be going against his wish and I'd be making his day terrible. Okay, so that is one of the challenges that we go through. And also maybe you just sit and hear my class has busted into noise, whir, and you come rushing and you wonder what's happening. then teacher so-and-so is not teaching, they're just playing in class. I don't want my child to go to teacher so-and-so. All they do is just play around in class, okay? Not knowing that if this child wants to be listened to, let me listen. If you want to talk, the other one will want to talk. There goes my lesson. We will talk. But then again, the beauty is these children, when you tell them, okay, fine, let's talk now. And then after break, we have to sit and learn. They will actually listen. Yeah. You give them time, you give them your listening ear. Then later on, you tell them, now it's my time to talk and you listen. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. I've always wondered how you manage to deal with different age groups, because I've seen quite a number of schools, children come to school differently.
Yeah.
Maybe this week or maybe another week you have these. One is 2.5 years, another one is 3 years, another one is 4 years. They're all in the same classroom.
Yeah.
Because of maybe, for one reason or the other, maybe a child is starting school at 5 years. So how do you manage the age gap?
Starting school at 5 years, that is
and maybe some are 3, some are 4, or maybe you have 2.5, 3, and 4. How do you manage that?
That is called vertical age grouping, and it is perfect. It is good because the small one here who doesn't even probably know how to hold a pencil will actually use eyes and see how the pencil is held there, and they will try. Okay, and then they will see this older one is reading a book, and they will actually read it even if it's upside down. They will be looking at it, and actually you will think they're reading. So it's good. They learn from it.
And the older one now, what is the older one getting from the younger one?
So the older one is probably feeling left out at one point, but most of the time I like calling it feeling in control. Okay, so he or she is feeling like the grown-up in this class. All right, so this child is going to have a perfect self-esteem all through. The confidence is going to be skyrocket. Okay, so this grouping is actually good where it is available. It's good. Okay, for the teacher, not so good because it's a bit tedious. Because I'll have to find coloring for this one. I'll have to find something else for this other one. I'll have to find something more advanced for the other one. Okay, so at the end of the day, you feel like you're running mad as a teacher, but these children are having the time of their life.
So you can also use that the rotational grouping. You will have group A, group B, group C. And the way she's saying, it's very tedious for a teacher because also I need to keep an eye because I need to see the progress of these children. Yes. So if maybe sometimes you find they came to school late, you're 5 years, you joined second term. Remember, first term is, so I will know which group I am going to place you. And then the way you're saying, that's another challenge which comes in because now the parent will come and tell me, Teacher Lydia, I want to see my child writing. I want to see the child because the others are doing. But you're forgetting, what time did they come? They came in second term and first term is. So there's a group that I am going to place your child. And then we use what we call the differentiation. That is whereby I will know we have the high achievers, low achievers, and the middle achievers. So if I am doing number 5, I know group C can do the number value, group B can color, group A can, do simple addition. So that, and then amongst themselves, they just become teachers. That's the beauty of them. The moment they pick, you have a leader, and then you explain, you're done.
Oh,
yes.
That's very, very interesting. Now, as we wrap it, I want us to wrap it in our own way, the way we know how to do it best. So I'll give each one of you 1 minute to maybe tell us something or tell the audience something. Anyone, maybe maybe teachers, or it can be parents, or it could be administrators, something that you've always wanted maybe an administrator to listen to, but you've never gotten an opportunity to do so. Here at Tufunzeni, we are giving you that space, and maybe something that you may want to tell your colleagues, anyone handling ECE or caregivers. And you can go first.
Okay. To the parents, I would like to thank you very much for entrusting us with your children. I would like you to also press the relax button when you give us your children. They're home. We're also parents, and we will really take care of them and always feel secure when we have your children. To the administration, thank you for also letting us have our own space with the with the children. And also thank you for helping us out when they come in the morning and you really help them to get to class. Thank you very, very much. And to my fellow colleagues, let's keep this going. Let's not get tired. Let's say a prayer in the morning and offer our children to God before we start this day. And I shall be well if we keep the passion running. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, mine, I'll say it in a nutshell. Yeah, I would say let's believe in our children. Let's give them a space to have their dignity and personality. And I would like to thank my administration for giving us the space, to be ourselves. Yes. And for the parents, I would like to say that I would like to tell them also to stop branding their children, because the moment you brand that child, they become the brand that you've branded them. And to my fellow colleagues, fellow teachers everywhere, let's keep on pressing the button. Let's not get tired. These children, they make for us very beautiful prayers, by the way. That's why you hear teachers, they always have something to do. We'll never, when I find a child somewhere, I'll never miss something to tell them. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lydia and Goretti, for making this conversation lively and just making it simple. As a teacher, by the way, I teach the older ones, and sometimes I feel burnout, but the energy I've seen here, it's like I have to go back and look at myself. Roseline, you have to do things right. So I don't take it for granted. Your presence here is really appreciated. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us and with everyone watching this. And to everyone, and say thank you for always keeping it Tufunzeni. You can always get us on all our platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, WhatsApp. We even have a WhatsApp link group, so we can always link you there. Always keep it at Tufunzeni. Go to YouTube, just search the Tufunzeni Podcast and you'll get this. Please subscribe, share with your friends, always press that button so that you get the notification every time. In case of any questions that you may have for Lydia and Goretti and any other guests that we bring in studio, always feel free to ask. The Tufunzeni is the safest space for teachers. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.